Hey there, YouTubers. Welcome back. This old sword here. And today I want to present a knife I like quite a bit. Been in the collection for a while. Been meaning to do a review. It is a higher end knife, obviously from the We Knife Company. And very much in the Japanese tradition, although the name is not a very Japanese name. I'll explain in a moment. Here we got our little wee microfiber cloth. I tend to keep the higher end stuff in their little pouches here. I don't know why. Check this out. This is a gray blue titanium handle. Got the We logo running down the handle as a raised milled pattern in gold. Bronzes gold pivot. We got the star screw pivot on the other side, and it does come with a tool that allows you to adjust that and take it apart. It is a frame lock. Check out the thumb stud and how flush this blade is. And one of the few, if not the only, milled titanium pocket clips that is totally deep carry, right down to the end. Beautiful brass lanyard, what would you call it? Pin. Blue backspacer that is suspended. And yes, I know I haven't opened it yet. Got milled jimping in here, more or less decorative. And let's open it up. And what we have is the straight up Japanese looking knife with an American sounding name. And I think the name was at the encouragement of Todd Knife and Tool in Zelrick, because he reviewed this on his channel and mentioned that he was hoping they'd call it the straight up. As you can see, it's a very straight knife in the handle and in the blade. The blade, by the way, is M390, top of the line cutlery steel, equivalent to CPM 20V, as I understand it. They're just from different companies. Not sure what the hardness is on it, but generally it should be 60 or better for the M390. We have a black blade on this model. There are other models with a satin blade. But check this out, and I'm not sure that you can see it. This is a zero grind on the front of the knife, a secondary bevel grind on the straight. What the zero grind means, for those that don't know, is that the grind starts here and goes straight to the edge without a secondary bevel. You can see the secondary bevel lighting up here on this part of the blade, but here it goes straight to the edge. It's a beautiful blade. Let's measure it up a bit. Back out just a bit. There we go. We can get the whole knife in. By the way, this is a traditional Japanese Tanto style blade. There is no chisel grind. There is no secondary point as you have on the Americanized Tanto. Because when you mention Tanto these days, everybody thinks of the Americanized Tanto, which was made popular in the mid-'80s by Cold Steel and Lynn Thompson. And yes, I reviewed those blades back during that time period. In print medium, no less. Anyway, if you doubt it, look up traditional Tanto and you will see a very similar blade shape to this one. I think it's a beautiful, simple, characteristically Japanese style blade. And a handle sort of to match, because the handles were generally straight on those Tantos as well. Not always wrapped like a sword, but very often lacquered and coming in many different forms. So it's a large knife, dead on at 9 inches. We have a blade that is just shy of 4 inches at a little better than 3 7/8. Because of the choil, kind of a finger choil there, we have a 3 3/4 inch cutting edge. We have, and it's on bearings, very smooth. Little bit of a stiff detent. Haven't really broken it in much yet. So the thumb stud will get you just a little bit. I guess they modified it so that the star is somewhat rounded. Not sure if you can see that or how close the camera will focus. But points on that star and right between the points can be a little rough. Anyway, we have 4.285 ounces. Definitely right around the ounce per inch for the blade. We have a fuller that runs the length of the spine and right out into the grind on the front of the blade. It is a beautifully well-balanced knife. Something you'd want to carry to fancier occasions. The blade itself has very few markings. You have to look very hard even to find the blade steel. So right there, we have the M390 mark. Nothing on the blade. The branding is really all on the handle. Because if you know about the We Knife Company logo, you will see it in the design. If you don't, all you're going to see is a pattern of lines going in different directions, which I think is really smart design. You have a little bit of a finger choil built into the handle. The ergos are really nice. Let's take a look at the width. So 0.54, a little bit on the wide side, I suppose. 0.52, a little over half an inch. Blade thickness. And we have to get it right here because we get a high grind on this knife, 4 millimeters. So we're starting out with a very nice stock, but you wouldn't know it because of the way that they have capped, rounded the spine. If you can see that with the black finish. It's a nicely capped, not chamfered, rounded spine. We do have a little bit of finger grooves here, or not finger grooves, of jimping. Works pretty well. I mean, it's not that super aggressive. They're cut in there very well. It's just that they're not very deep. And we got a little bit of jimping here that works for us. A little bit. Smooth all the way, the rest of the way around. A little bit of jimping back here. And again, we've got that spanner style backstrap. You can see the light coming through, kind of like a bridge. So let's take a look at it alongside some others. Benchmade Freak, not really in the same class price-wise, but it's a known quantity. So the Benchmade Freak, if we line up the handles, is going to be about a ½ inch shorter. Overall, lining up the pivots, it's a bit shorter knife by maybe ½ inch overall, 3/4 of an inch. I don't have my grid lines out today. Figure I do more of an art background today for a fancy knife. So the Griptilian, definitely a smaller knife. Shorter blade, shorter handle. And finally, the Rat 4. Rat 4. Is there a Rat 4? Maybe there is. Rat 1. So the Rat 1, perspective can throw off the size a little here. But the straight up is going to be a little longer overall. And blade slightly longer on the straight up. What haven't we discussed? I think that's it. It's a beautiful, classy, I guess you'd call it an art knife, with some nice usable features. It's robust enough for EDC work, for sure. It's not delicate by any means. It's a little on the pricey side. I think they're coming in $250, $260-ish. I got a sort of a good deal on this a while back from White Mountain. So I have to give a shout out to Justin at White Mountain Knives. If you haven't checked them out yet, be sure to do so. I don't get paid anything from them, but I like them enough to say good things about them. So there you have the WE Straight Up in M390 and titanium. Give it a like, subscribe, and hope you enjoy this.